The 4-2-2 YouTube, one of my favourite fun meta formations to use, and that is the key point right there. The 4-2-2 is actually a meta formation, and it is also fun to use, which really does help in terms of getting some wins and just general enjoyment while you are playing FC25, which is quite hard to do, I'm not going to lie. But before we get into that, drop this video a like for me, drop a comment down below, and if you can please smash that like button for me, that would mean the world to me. So without any further ado, let's get into the custom tactic. For your cheapest and most reliable place to buy your FC25 coins, please go and check out mmoexp.com. Remember to use the code WOLF at the checkout for a massive 8% off your order. Link is below. Go check them out now. Now, before we get into the tactics, I'm actually going to list some pros and some cons of you using the 4-2-2. It's something that I don't really do too much, but as we move into the pros part, and this is the key thing in terms of, by the way, if any of you don't know what pros and cons mean, the pros are the good points and then the cons are the bad points. So the pros / good points are the big key aspect is you get 2 CDMs and 2 strikers in this formation, which really does help, especially with the CDMs. They help out a lot more in defense and defensive transitions rather than central midfielders, and the fact we get 2 strikers is so good and so overpowered. It's really good for the first time through ball meta, and also running down the line and then cutting back inside, recycling the ball to get an easy angle across goal for the shot. They're the 3 key pros. As we move into the cons, the only con that I really have with this is that when we are defending, sometimes it feels like we're just defending with 4 defenders and 2 CDMs, because the cams sometimes don't help us out a lot in the defensive part of the game, which can be a little bit problematic. So they're the 2. That's the only con really that I have with this formation, if any, and even then I'm kind of just nitpicking. It's not really a con, but it kind of is. I'm very nitpicking with that. But they are the pros and cons of the 4-2-2. As we now move into the custom tactics, and remember, the code will be the top pinned comment down below in the comment section, and it will also be in the last 15, 20, 30 seconds of the video as well. So you can just type in the code and you will get these custom tactics play for play, bar for bar. You don't have to type them in one by one, player for player. Just type in the code, you will get these exact custom tactics. Now, as we move on into the tactical preset, of course that is going to be custom. I don't know why you would use anything else other than custom on that tactical preset. The formation, of course, is the 4-2-2, the formation with 2 CDMs, 2 cams and 2 strikers and a flat back 4. As we then move on into the build-up style, this is where you can use a little bit of your own initiative with this YouTube. Yes, so I am using counter, and the good thing is with counter is when we lose the ball, our team will run back into its defensive shape very quickly, but then when we win the ball, well, when we have the ball, should I say, we'll make a lot of penetrating runs in behind. Now, that is a good thing. That is what I prefer. If you prefer a bit of a slow, methodical possession base, which could be 10% of people watching this video, could be 100% people watching this video, it doesn't really matter. But if that is you, I would recommend either balanced or short passing. You will have seen in my most recent 4-1-2-1-2 narrow custom tactics video, I did actually speak a little bit about short passing and about how much I do enjoy it. And I do think short passing is actually a good and viable option, especially in this formation. But me, I've been using counter for most of the year now, and I just love it. It's what I'm used to. It seems to what works best for me and my personal playstyle, so that is why I'm using counter. As we then move on into the defensive approach, again, going back to my 4-1-2-1-2 narrow video, you will have seen me still using the 95 depth, even though it has been patched a little bit. In the 4-2-2 though, I don't use it. I use the bread and butter high defensive approach, which is 70 line height. Yes, you are reading that right. High on the defensive approach, which of course is 70 on the line height. I want to be aggressive, win the ball back nice and high up the pitch, but also with that 70 line height, it doesn't leave us too exposed defensively, which is the key thing that I really like. So they are the custom, the team tactics that I am using in the 4-2-2. As we then move on into the player roles, and this is where you can again use a little bit of your own initiative. So my left side is striker. is on advanced forward and support. Yes, advanced forward and support. Now, if any of you don't know what the advanced forward and then support focus does, it's kind of like a hybrid between an advanced forward and a false 9. So they will drop a little bit deeper than my advanced forward attack striker. They'll kind of like play in like that 10.5 position, but they are still making penetrating runs in behind. It's very, very, very nice. And when I'm using 2 striker formations, I will always use one of the strikers on advanced forward and support, and then moving on to the other striker. The other striker will then be on advanced forward and attack. That is just the way that I like to do it. Again, you can use a false 9 if you want that striker to come even deeper. Poacher is also good. And one thing I will say actually, YouTube, so I get a lot of people commenting this. I don't think you need to look for the plus. So as long as the player can play that position, I think that is absolutely fine. I've done a lot of experimenting with it, and 1+ is definitely fine on the player role. The left-sided cam though, and this is something that I have actually used a lot, is then on half winger and balance. So wait, why is it not doing that there? Wait, let me change that. Yes, so half winger and balanced on the focus. So that player will drift a little bit wider, giving us that width when we are playing the 4-2-2, because the 4-2-2 can be very narrow sometimes, which is a good thing. I don't mind playing narrow. Narrow is actually one of my favourite formations to use, the 4-1-2-1-2. But half winger and balanced on the left-sided cam, and then because of that, I play shadow striker on the right-sided cam. So you see there with the ball, if you ignore the other positions because they're glitched at the minute, but the left-sided cam will play a little bit wider, and then the right-sided cam will play behind our 2 strikers, giving us almost like that 4-1-2-1-2 narrow vibe. It is very, very, very nice. Now, remember what I said about the pros and the cons of this formation. The big con, and the only con really, being that there is a bit of a big gap between our 2 CDMs and our cams and strikers. So because of that, we need to play both our CDMs on deep line playmaker, and this is the key thing here: build up on the focus. That is such an underrated thing. This means when they have build up on the focus, they will venture forward a little bit more, thus negating the only con that I have with the 4-2-2, being there's a big gap between the 2 CDMs and the cams and strikers. They will push forward a lot more, which really does help us out. It closes that gap off nicely. So that is what I'm using on both of my CDMs. Now, because of course of the 4-2-1-3 meta, we need to have both our left back and our right back on full back and defend, because if we don't, we will get caught out in transition. We will have an overlapping wing back, which is not a bad thing. I'm a big believer of that, just not this year because of the 4-2-1-3 meta. Our opponent will then play 1 through ball in that where that winger is in terms of our overlapping full back is up the pitch, and we will get done on the counter attack. Really, really, really annoying. So both our left back and our right back need to be on full back and defend. Both centre backs though are just on the nice and simple bread and butter defender and defend. Again, I don't really know why you would want to use anything else. And then the goalkeeper though is going to be on sweeper keeper, and that right there, YouTube, as you see the code right on your screen right there, but remember it will be the top pinned comment down below, is my brand new updated 4-2-2 custom tactics for you. If you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Smash that like button for me, and please hit that subscribe button to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for watching, YouTube. Remember, spread the love and positivity. PMA, positive attitude. Peace out. One love.